What's up guys, Lewis here from Indie Credible back with another Indie Game Monthly Hotlist. Now if you don't know what these videos are, that's simply a run through of 5 indie games releasing throughout the month that we think you should definitely be checking out. And this video we're looking at indie games releasing throughout the month of April. So without going on anymore, let's dive into this month's top recommendations. We kick off with Dangerous Driving. Now Dangerous Driving is quite literally a Burnout spiritual successor and developed by members of the original Burnout team. The flat out fast paced arcade racing fun that we come to love of the original Burnout series is back, with 9 modes to play through including the iconic takedown and a pursuit mode which allows you to play as the cops in hair-raising intense pursuit races. There are also 27 vehicles to try your hand at and 69 single player events including a single player campaign mode. All DLC coming to Dangerous Driving will be free. Maybe, just maybe, they might even add a crash mode at a later date. Dangerous Driving is releasing on PS4, Xbox One and PC on the 9th of April. Up next, we have one of the most adorable games you're ever going to see, and that is My Time in Portia. Now, My Time in Portia originally released on PC early this year, and that was after having a lengthy 1-year spell in early access on Steam. My Time in Portia is an open world sandbox game that sits in a very similar vein to something like Stardew Valley. Now you arrive in Portia to a beaten up workshop, and the idea of the game is to flesh out your handbook and build up your workbench. And to do this you'll need to gather resources, mine metal, meet the locals and just genuinely explore the adorable lands. As I mentioned, this game does sit in a very similar vein to something like Stardew Valley, but the farming mechanic isn't as emphasised in My Time in Portia. During the game's early access time, the ability to craft something like an airplane and other vehicles was added to My Time in Portia, meaning the game probably has a lot of content for you to lose yourself in. My Time in Portia is available on PC now, but it's coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox One on the 16th of April. Let's be honest, My Time in Portia is an absolute ideal fit for the Switch. Now we move on to my most anticipated game on this list, especially after playing the demo at EGX Res last week, and that is Katana Zero. Now Katana Zero is a 2D action platformer with super slick and super fast combat. You play as an assassin who must make the way through the different stages of a level, killing the enemies until you make your way to your assassination mark. Playing a demo at EGX Res reminded me a lot of Hotline Miami, and by that I mean every time you came to a new stage of the level, you had to kind of map out in your head what you was going to do. Was I going to pick this item up? Was I going to throw it at this person? Was I going to slow time down here? Was I going to target this person first? How was I going to approach each stage of the level? Which really carried that puzzle element to it, much like Hotline Miami. Now, there is an overarching narrative going on in Katana Zero, and what I experienced at EGX Res, well, I was pretty interested to see more of that story. And let's be honest, the game carries a serious, stylish neo-noir aesthetic, and if I'm being completely honest, an absolutely brilliant soundtrack. I cannot wait to get my hands on Katana Zero when it comes to Nintendo Switch and PC on the 18th of April. Next, we move to the most action-packed game on this list, and yes, it does even beat Katana Zero, and that is God's Trigger. God's Trigger is an action-fueled cinematic action game that plays out much like a twin-stick shooter. You play as Harry and Judy, who are quite literally an angel and a demon, on a mission to blast their way all the way up to heaven just to stop the apocalypse. Solo play allows you to switch between the characters on the fly, allowing you to utilise both of their abilities, or you can invite a friend over to play the game in co-op. I absolutely love the look of the no-nonsense action going on here and the over-the-top abilities that God Trigger looks to offer. I think it goes without saying that this game isn't exactly for kids, and I cannot wait to dive in and cause some absolute havoc in God's Trigger when it comes to PS4, Xbox One and PC on the 18th of April. Wrapping up April's indie game recommendations is Fade to Silence, another game that we managed to get our hands on at EGX Res last week. Now, Fade to Silence has been available in early access for just over a year and is developed by Black Forest Games. This post-apocalyptic open-world adventure plays out in a dark, atmospheric, frozen world. What's really interesting was when speaking to the devs last week, we found out that the storytelling is told in an almost backwards fashion, and by that we mean it's told through dream sequences of what happened to the world prior to the game's events. This basically means once you've been out, you've done your open-world missions, your open-world events, you come back, you decide to have a little nap, and you're going to dream for anything between 10 seconds all the way up to 2 minutes, and that 10 seconds to 2 minute cutscene will give you insight into the events of the game prior to what you're playing now. It was this idea of the storytelling along with the intriguing open world we're exploring that's made us pretty excited to play more of Fade to Silence. I'll also mention that the combat in the game does feel very solid and responsive, although it did offer a challenge at times, especially on the more mechanical driven enemies. Fade to Silence looks to offer over 40 hours of adventure to dive into, and I can't wait to get my hands on the game when it comes to PS4, Xbox One and the full release on PC on the 30th of April. Well guys, that wraps up April's indie game Hotlist. If you're looking forward to playing any of the games in this list, then please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to know what you guys are looking forward to playing. And if you want to see more content from the EGX Res event from last week, then we have a ton of previews up now, including our top 10 games from the show floor. To keep up to date with more indie game content, including news, reviews, previews, and a weekly podcast, make sure you subscribe to Indie Credible. And if you want to join the Indie Credible community and jump in with us over on Discord, where we play games with our patrons and give away exclusive weekly content, then make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Until next time guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great morning, day, afternoon, whatever time it is where you are, and goodbye.